Hello everyone, Joe Vitale, American Retirement Advisors with Gradient Investments Weekly Talking Points for the week ending February 25th, 2022. Happy March 1st, and hopefully we'll be into some warm weather sooner than later. Let's talk about stocks. The S&P 500 entered correction territory Tuesday after sinking after Russia launched a full-scale invasion in Ukraine. Now, the broad stock index declined more than 10% from its most recent high on January 3rd. In the reflected concern and uncertainty over the sanctions in the U.S. and other nations would impose on Russia, as sanctions are likely to result in added inflation. Now, the markets regained some of the strength later in the week. The S&P ended up for the week at 0.84, the Nasdaq gained 1.1, and the Russell added 1.59%. The overseas market, the developed markets, the EFA lost 2.5%, while the emerging markets dropped 4.84%. This is why it's very important when we talk about actively management, because if we're just an international and we're just in there and we're not moving it constantly and rebalancing, we might ride it too far down. And, but we can't really market time, so we're not moving, we're not, emotionally buying and selling either. We try to stay the course, and that's what we're going to see with a lot of things that we have in the portfolios. They're going to continue to grow, but some of them we are taking hits. It is what it is. But we are going to be, win the race in the long haul. So let's talk about fixed income. Interest rates rose and the yield curve flattened. The 2-year Treasury real yields rising 8 basis points to 1.55%. The 10 years rose 5 basis points to 1.97, and the 30 is up 5 basis points to 2.29. Now, the U.S. Treasuries have seen an influx of international buyers as up and since the Russian invasion, since securities backed by the U.S. government are viewed as safe havens. Commodities, oil prices increased 0.6% and 21.6% over the last week and year to date. Respectively, the price of West Texas crude ended up at $91.59 per barrel, driven by concerns surrounding Russia's invasion of the Ukraine and its repercussions on global supplies. Now, of course, if we had the pipeline open, we would be more energy independent, but what's happening is we still have to rely overseas for oil a lot of times now. And Russia's got such a way they're controlling. This is really not a good thing for independence and energy independence. So hopefully we're trying to see how this is all going to shake out. We are seeing a lot of volatility in the market. We're going to continue to see volatility in the market for a little while now. Let's talk about palladium, which is a precious metal strategy, reached a 7-month high of $2,533 per troy ounce. It's in our precious metals endowment strategy. This ETF has risen 28% since our purchase in early January on concerns surrounding available supply, since Russia is a major producer. The precious metal is used in catalytic converters for vehicles, along with electrical contacts and medical instruments. Economic data, the 20-city index of home prices rose 18.6% year over year in December, ahead of the consensus estimate of 18%. Phoenix, Tampa, and Miami saw the largest year over year gains of over 27% each. Now, orders for durable goods rose 1.6% in January, twice the rate of the consensus estimate. Durable good orders are a leading indicator of industrial production and capital spending. This marks an acceleration from the sharply upward revision in December, orders which had a 1.2% increase. Consumer spending rebounded in January after falling for the first time in 10 months. It increased 2.1% as Americans bought more new car and recreational items. This was well ahead of expectations for a 1.6% gain. Let's talk about some company news. Mercado Libre Inc., which is a G33 holding, shares rose 18.58% last week after online retailer reported revenues and operating profits that far exceeded consensus expectations. Palo Alto Networks, which is a Core Select and G33 holding, shares rose 18.2% last week on added concerns for internet security following the Russian invasion and threats of web-based systems. Sprout Social, which is a G33 holder, reported revenue and earnings that exceeded consensus expectations and also guided results higher for the coming year. This global designer and developer of social media applications continue to add larger customers to their base, driving profit margins higher. Shares rose 22.1% last week. Now remember, We are long-term investors. Even though the market volatility, you are still nicely allocated. As long as we have our safe bucket and our growth bucket. I mean, you might be 50, 60, 70 years old. We still got a lot of time, God willing, right? So we can't always take the emotions into this. Granted, we're all concerned. We're all concerned about the market volatility, our money going up and down. But as long as we have our safe buckets, we talk about this all the time. If you say, Joe, I really have to have some safer holdings, I really need to move some into something with a buffer, with a stop loss, let's have that conversation. We've been trying to reach out, and we can have those conversations and make sure that you feel comfortable. But as long as we've got safe money and we've got things for growth and long term, we want to make sure that you're allocated properly, but we have instruments as well to help you feel better and sleep better. But that's it for this week. Thank you for being part of our ARA family. To contact us, you know the number, 855-756-5700. Visit us at aradvisorsinc.com. Visit our Facebook and YouTube pages and scan the QR code at the end of the video if you're not already subscribed to the newsletter. God bless you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.